Well, I appreciate you guys kind of switching it up from Sunday to today. Obviously, today's our Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. And then the next day is Thursday because we're on a short week. So thank you for switching it up and coming today. And that's why I'm waiting around for you. So you guys fire away.
First, just what are your thoughts on UConn now that you watched it back and took a look?
Disappointing, obviously. Obviously, from a coaching standpoint, from an execution with our players' standpoint. I thought we started really slow. That first drive was very uncharacteristic of our defense. And that was really disappointing. And that was addressed. It was addressed, obviously on the sideline right away. And I felt like they really stepped it up. Went for it on the 4th and 1, didn't get it. And then they kicked a field goal, and that was really it. And then the defense really stood up the rest of the game. And, the points would say that we played really good defense. I still think there's a lot that we could have done better. But the defense kept us in the game. We drive down. We hit a couple big plays, and we settle for a field goal on the 4th down. And then we throw the pick. So we get right back in the game, and we come away with no points. And then, like I said, I thought the defense held up pretty well, and we turned the ball over 5 times. Missed opportunities, some drop passes, some missed assignments. There's stuff we could have obviously done better coaching, but if you turn the ball over 5 times, you're not going to win a game. It's just not going to happen. We've been on the other side of it when we've gotten 5 turnovers, but obviously I need to do a better job. We need to play better. Our coaches need to coach better. And we don't have much time because we're playing Friday night. So it's a short week. Duke has a bye week, so they've had 2 weeks, and we don't have much time to dwell on it. We addressed it on Sunday, and today we practiced. So today was our Tuesday practice. So full speed ahead. It feels like it's already a couple weeks ago, but the guys had a good day today.
Any update on Phil?
Phil did not practice today, and I would say that's also due in fact that today's a Monday. So we had a bunch of guys that didn't practice today. I know he's working hard to get back and play Friday, so we'll see. But we missed him, losing him in the game. We started Jude at tackle, and Jude got injured, I think, on the 9th play of the game. Then we brought in Nick Thomas. Nick got injured in the game, and Nick battled through, which I have a lot of respect for. So Nick was out today, so I'm not sure what his status will be, but hopefully he'll be able to go as we practice. But again, it's a really quick turnaround. Today's usually the recovery day and not a practice day. So hopefully we get some of those guys back, because now that was our 8th different offensive line grouping, and then hopefully we can get some consistency there.
With that short week, do you have to almost give Emmett most of the reps and hope Phil can play?
Well, we'll see if Phil can practice. He'll get the reps. But I think someone asked a question. Him got a lot of reps last week. I think one of you guys might ask that. Well, you might ask it after the game of Rich. But it's hard because there's limited reps as it is this late in the season. So your starters got to get most of them. Today was a limited practice, but obviously with Phil out, Emmett got the reps, which were helpful in case he did have to play.
Just big picture, you guys had 6 wins each of the past 2 years. Now you're 2-6. Obviously not where you want to be. Just can you provide some insight into why you think that's happened and how the state of the program is at the moment?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons that's happened. I think there's a lot that's been documented. But ultimately, we have to do a better job coaching and playing. Looking back and try to give you an assessment right now, we have four games to play. We got kids who are fighting. We got kids who haven't given up, and they're getting better. We're playing a lot of young guys right now. We're playing a lot of guys who are out of position. But ultimately, we need to coach better. We need to play better. And that's truthfully how I feel at this moment. I don't have time to kind of look behind and think about everything that's happened. You got to continue to move forward, make adjustments as needed. And then when it's all done, then I got to sit down and take a hard look at things, really dig deep into it from all levels, because clearly we have to get better. And I'll be the first to admit that. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses now about it.
Obviously, you'll never, quote unquote, give up on a season, but with so many young guys, can you start to kind of make this an evaluation period of sorts?
Well, those guys are already playing. I think to start, we had 22 freshmen and redshirt freshmen in our 2 deep. And now we have some starting. Jude Bowery started. on offense, true freshman. Jeremiah Franklin started on offense, true freshman. Joe Griffin started on offense, another true freshman. Amari Jackson starting on defense, true freshman. Quan Williams is playing a ton. He's a true freshman. And then our redshirt freshman. But that's not to take away from the older guys that are playing well. I mean, I don't want that to get lost. I mean, we got some older guys like Zay, and there's some guys on defense, and Josh, and Eli, and Marcus Valdez, who Marcus right now probably has 2 bionic elbows. Like, that guy's in so much pain, and he's playing, and he's fighting, and Booz is fighting. Maitre's back there, and so we're playing. We're playing a lot of young guys. So I think it's a good look into the future. I don't know how many people are playing as many true freshmen and redshirt freshmen as we are. But I don't want to take that away from some of the older guys that I think are fighting and getting better. And I tell them I want them to succeed, and I want to do everything I can to try to help them get to the next level and be successful at the next level. So I'm not going to give up on them because I care about them, and that's really important to me. And I'm not just going to give up on the older guys now and say we're just playing younger players. I'm not doing that. I'm going to play the guys that deserve to play and give us the best chance to win, and are giving great attitude and effort, because those are what our players can control right now: their attitude, their effort. But I'm not going to be one of these guys that just starts pulling seniors that deserve to play, because those guys are giving us everything that they have. And that's very, very important to me.
Personally, you've had a lot of success at many stops. Just this season has obviously not gone the way you wanted to. What's it been like looking at yourself in the mirror just internally, and how's that unfolded? I've
had some 0-9 starts in the NFL. I've been through it. I've had a lot of ups and downs. The biggest thing is I need to be consistent, win or lose. I need to trust the process, which I've always talked about. And that's the most important thing to me. Looking at the process, making sure it's followed, adjusting it when needed, but being consistent going forward. And I guess it's 21, 22 years of coaching. This isn't the first go-around at this for me. And I've seen it, and I've seen guys come out of it. Like I said, I was on an 0-9 team that the next year went to the Super Bowl. Each year, if you look, each year's a whole new year. It's a whole new team, especially with transfers, right? I think we have a really good foundation of young players to build on, and we have some good veteran players. You just got to keep fighting, man. That's all there's to it.
Hey, Jeff, I've noticed a couple of times this year that Phil will be emotional and get upset at a bad play. How good is he at forgetting bad plays and putting it behind him? Because he wants to win so badly, he wants to do well so badly, that it bothers him going forward, and he just can't put it behind him.
Yeah, I think for the most part, he's done a really good job of putting it behind him. Like when he throws some picks, I think he's bounced back and played strong since he's been here. I think there's some moments that are harder to let go than others, and I think that's human nature. And, I'm the first guy to go up to him and tell him to let it go, and I got his back. But sometimes it's harder to do than others. But you have to move on, whether you're playing quarterback, DB, coaching. You got to play one play at a time. You got to coach one play at a time. Easier said than done. Very easier, but I think he's done a pretty good job.
I noticed the Connecticut coach came over and talked to Phil after the game.
Yeah, he asked me if Phil was okay. So he just wanted to know if Phil was okay, which I think most head coaches would do when a quarterback goes down. It's the first thing when Malik was knocked out of the game. I wanted to ask him, and he was in the locker room because I was looking for him too. But I think that's a classy thing to do and the right thing to do.
What do you see in Duke?
I see a really good football team, a lot of experience. I think Coach Elko's done a really good job. Rob Smith is a good friend of mine. He's the defensive coordinator. We were together for a while. I think he's got the defense playing at a high level. I think their offense has really done a good job. They're running the ball well. I think it starts with their offensive line. It's a really experienced group. They got a bunch of fifth years. I think they have 169 total starts on their offensive line, which is huge. The experience playing together. They're big, they're nasty, they're strong. Their quarterback can run it, he can throw it. Their receivers play really hard. They block downfield. They got some big backs who see it well. I like their scheme. Defensively, I think their defensive line is strong. They have good backers. They're good in the back end. I think their corners can cover really well. They do a good job of mixing up. They'll play man, they'll play 3 deep, they'll play quarters, they'll drop 8, they'll run some man pressures. They're exotic on third down. I think it's a good football team. Yeah.